telescope was said to have been made whilst in construction, not when it was launched into space. Did the folks at NASA not test the scope?
Let's see if this is working.
Earth orbit?
I'll find out
The
pretty
Hubble simply
soon.
sent a telescope a mere 300 or
Actually.
so miles above the Earth that ended up with malfunctions. Yet a satellite coasting in space for nearly a decade is working flawlessly. There seems to be a lack of continuity.
Should show.
The Voyager 1 rocket was launched in 1972, long before personal computers, the internet, and iPhones. This comes to
Showing that I've got a live, healthy
The
stream.
total cost of the Voyager mission from May 1972 through the Neptune encounter, including launch vehicles, radioactive power source, RTGs, and DSN tracking support, is $865 million. To launch the
Showing
Voyager
public.
1 rocket today, accounting for inflation, would cost $5,938,322.
There we go.
Yes, that's right. That's almost $5 billion. That's a lot of scratch. The cameras on the Voyager 1 are no longer operable, and the last images the Voyager 1 craft took, according to official sources, were on Valentine's Day in 1990. Remarkably, the technology available in 1972 was still
Now I wonder if it'll stay healthy.
years later. Meanwhile, the computing ability known to the public in 1972 was, by today's standards, ridiculously primitive. The computer company Intel debuted its 8008 microprocessor,
Do
which
that.
allowed for a
Turn
whopping
it up.
256 unique arrangements of ones and zeros. As the website for the Computer History Museum tells us, for the first time, a microprocessor could handle both uppercase and lowercase letters, all 10 numerals, punctuation marks, and a host of other symbols.
There,
Wow.
everything is set.
Uppercase and lowercase, get out of town.
Let's see what
Remarkable.
happens here.
1972 was also the year they released the video game Pong. As I am typing this, a NASA image of the day flashes on the wallpaper of my Chromecast. The image is entitled Pluto Dazzles in False Color,
Yeah,
and the
Pluto.
synchronistic in me goes berserk.
Pluto.
Knowing the amount of corruption we find at the highest levels, why is it that every major news media outlet, no matter their political or ideological persuasion,
And you
reports
write
on the
what you're
astounding
told,
feats
of
of this
course.
organization without ever questioning the
Corporate
legitimacy
news.
of the scientific claims
It's
it
all
makes?
good.
Not a day goes by that I don't see sites like Huffington Post report on the affirmations made by this space agency. The definition of the word press is to apply pressure to something, and hence the role and sole job of journalists is to consistently press for the truth from our
Once
world
again,
leaders
I've lost my
and governmental
stream.
institutions. The moment the
Not
press
sure why
stops
that
putting
happens.
pressure on our politicians and instead promotes the narrative as
Don't know
told
if
to us
it's
by our
'cause I'm
government, they become
bringing
not the
that
source we may
stuff
rely
down.
on
Let's
for
turn that
objective
off.
facts, but the propaganda
Let's go
machine
on to
twisting how we
here.
perceive world events.
Here,
If we do
YouTube.
not press the press
See
to
if
do
we
their
can get
job,
a live feed.
someone else's fiction becomes our
There we
reality.
go.
Claudia Pavonis. As I typed this, I
There,
quickly
let's
browsed
see.
on my Facebook
Okay,
feed
showing
and saw
that
an
it's
article
still
about
live
how
feed.
NASA scientists have discovered yet another Earth-like planet. There's a vast and growing number of
That's
people
me,
online that are
running
starting
the
to
phone.
question the legitimacy of literally everything NASA purports. A vastly growing demographic of very passionate folk are starting to heavily scrutinize the continual stream of information coming from NASA. Are all of these people just kooks and
Maybe it'll be
cranks,
healthier.
or is there validity to their concerns?
At least I can see what's going
It
on.
has become a modern trend to demean, belittle, and deny someone's position and point
See
of
if we
view
can
by
open
simply
the chat.
accusing them of being a conspiracy theorist. Conspiracy, or to conspire,
Yeah, there we
means
go.
to make secret plans
Everything's
jointly to
going
commit
okay.
an unlawful or harmful act. A theory is a supposition
Turn
of
that up a
ideas
touch.
intended to explain something.
There we go.
A theorem
Okay,
is a general
I think it's all set.
proposition, not self-evident but proved by a chain of reasoning. Conspiracies are not theories, they are theorems. They can be proven by the simple fact that organized evil has a historicity. It is without question that people in all sorts of different arenas, political,
Yeah.
military,
That's what
economic,
I'm-
social, etc., conspire for myriad reasons all the time. The hardest thing for a modern man to do is admit that the history of such atrocities is not just a thing of the past, it's in the present and in the future as well. Claudia Pavonis. Anyone that
Okay,
has
let's
studied
see what
conspiracy
happens
knows
here.
that the grand
And,
deception is compartmentalizing the
start
deception.
watching this stuff.
Everyone involved in the conspiracy plays a part by not knowing the part they are truly
Let's turn
playing.
that up.
The formation of a conspiracy is based on the blind acceptance and belief in the disinformation spread, with those lies often going
See how much
unchecked by the
lag we
majority
get.
involved. This model works so well that even when subversive individuals expose elements of the
Oh yeah,
conspiracy,
there it goes.
the generally
Sending,
accepted paradigm
sending.
is so concretized that the detractor is often labeled a charlatan or nut job. Usually no other attempt is made to either suppress or give credence to the disclosure. The fixedness of the deception whitewashes anyone who doesn't adhere to it. We are also very aware that people can be manipulated and easily coerced into doing all sorts of wicked things with the promise
Yeah,
of money,
not too happy
fame,
about this.
nationalistic heroic pride, or
Okay,
otherwise.
still gotta go fix the stream.
Threats and
Gotta
violence
fix
are
the
also
stream.
useful tactics used by mobs, mafias, and monarchies throughout time. Another article has
Running
been
out of
making its way
options.
on the web lately, claiming that over 70
Running out of
NASA
options.
scientists have died under unusual circumstances in the last 2 years. Though we may contest the article's verity, it is interesting nonetheless. The fact is, if someone with a sinister and malicious intent wishes to commit a crime against humanity, they are going to find any way they can to ensure their success. A prime example of this happens every day
Run
when
that
men
up.
in suits convince young men and women to invade countries and kill other human beings they have never met under completely false pretenses for the
Go on
benefits and
there,
credit
see
of a
what's
few.
going on.
This little trick has been a card up the sleeve of psychopaths for
Oh,
thousands of
look at
years.
that. I could go in that way.
Since I entered
Wonder
politics,
what
I have
happens if I
chiefly
do
had
that.
men's views confided to me privately. Some of the biggest men in the United States, in the field of commerce and manufacturing, are afraid of something. They know that there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive,
Yeah,
that
that
they better
works
not
alright.
speak above their breath when they speak in
I think
combination.
that works a little better.
Woodrow Wilson, The New Freedom.
At least I can
NASA,
see
by
when
being
the
a branch
stream's
of the
happening.
government, by design, has a lot to
NASA,
hide.
NASA, NASA.
How much of the work that
Liars.
NASA does is completely under impenetrable security? What kind of technology have they created within their top secret research and development sectors? Even if we give NASA the benefit of the doubt and assume that they have absolutely nothing to hide, the government still would not condone disclosure of the information therein, most assuredly citing reasons of national security. People who criticize
What
these sorts of
kind?
conspiratorial considerations often point to the fact that NASA is really an umbrella for a host of different agencies and companies all working in harmony. There are many subsidiaries that work alongside NASA, and so by saying NASA, you are really speaking about many different space agencies. And as far as I know, this is true.
These guys are
We also
so
know that
full of
NASA is
crap.
not the only space agency
It's
working out
incredible.
there in the heavens. China, Russia, France, Austria, and several other countries also send missions into space. It would not be far-fetched to say that the majority of the space
Let me go see
agencies,
what else we
just
got.
like the governments of the world, work in cahoots.
Downloads.
Hence why they all share space on the International Space Station. Hell, the governments of the world even recently created an international flag based on
There.
an
A
ancient
little easier to
sacred
go
geometrical
through
scene of
things.
life. A flag, in essence, declaring that the leaders of the countries of the
Everything I'm
world
doing,
are
making it easier.
working together. We only have to look to the questionable motives of things like Agenda 21 and display the twisted secrecy of Bohemian Grove to see these major power players working wholly in concert. If we are to get conspiratorial here, what is one of the most common phrases associated with a global conspiracy but a new world
Yeah.
order? Or in other words, a
We're
one
rocking.
world government. Making the attestation that because NASA is engaged in nothing but the pure and noble pursuit of science, and therefore is somehow immune to the corruptions of normal inept government-caused impurities or some grand global conspiracy is wholly ridiculous. The fact is, good-natured
Yeah, let's
people who don't even know that they don't even know,
see what happens
people
when a
who
real
are completely
scientist
absent of the inner
investigates.
workings of evil, may have no idea that they're even being manipulated. This could be said for any organization or
Get rid of
hierarchy,
that.
albeit political, religious, or otherwise.
Yes.
People assert that logically, because so many people are involved in something like, per se, the moon landings, it would therefore be impossible to have faked them. I'm going to leave this excerpt.
Transition that over. There we go. We're going on to this now. Beginning and the end of 500 years of lies, deception, while exposing the secret of cult agendas. Welcome to the age of modern skeptic. The Greek word skepsis means investigation. They call themselves skeptics. The ancient skeptics thus describe themselves as investigators. They also call themselves those who suspend, thereby signaling that their investigations lead them to suspension of judgment. At its core, ancient skepticism is a way of life devoted to inquiry. It is as much concerned with belief as knowledge as the knowledge has not been attained. This gives rise to the most controversial ambition, a life without belief, but filled with curiosity, questioning, and investigation. Skeptic does not mean one who doubts, but one who investigates or researches, as opposed to he/she who asserts knows and thinks he/she has found.
Outside of what they currently believe, and I'm just asking you for one video. Open your mind, please. I beg you, just this one time. Pretend that you aren't the smartest human on Earth.
Yeah. Open
Understand
your
that I don't
mind.
claim to know every
Oh, that
fact.
was a little ditty.
And to be honest, there's some facts that will never be known, simply because they've been hid too well. But if you're a human being with a brain, and you're not afraid of your own stupidity, it's okay to question things. What does that hurt? One of my subscribers wrote one of the best comments I've seen the other day. I have to share it because it's what being a human means. And he said, in the past 7 days, I have gone from knowing the earth was round to really believing the earth could be flat. And I thought that was a great admission. So all I ask you guys is to listen,
And
be
there we
open to
go.
what I'm saying, and then question me, debunk me, prove me wrong. Disagree with me. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's science. How is it that this has been forgotten? I don't know. You forgot what it's all about. No question should be closed to debate, not one. Yet science has shut down all debates. They shut down questions. They shut off thinking. They close doors. They close minds. Close discussions. All you science fans love to make fun of the popes of the 16th and 17th century. Laugh, and make fun of them because they refused to hear
Gross.
arguments outside of their dogma at the time. Wow, how unscientific. Sound familiar? NASA doesn't answer any questions. Brian Cox won't answer an open letter. I guess it's easier just to collect a paycheck. But you do need to use your mind. NASA's not going to come out and say, oh, the moon landings were a hoax. Never. So does that mean we just accept it and move on, or can we actually use our minds? If you've watched my videos or any of the other guys talking about this stuff, would you at least admit that at the very least that the flat versus ball earth is not quite as 100% fact as you thought? If you can admit that, then why were we taught to laugh at it? Can't you see that every single thing that we were taught in school was to make us become who they wanted? Did we learn about killing and fooling the Indians? Did we learn about killing all their buffalo so they had nothing to eat? Did we ever hear that Roosevelt knew about Pearl Harbor? Think about what we were taught. That America, the great and powerful and the wonderful, had but one goal, and that was to spread democracy. Is that the truth? Well, if you haven't realized it yet, this world runs on money.
Did we?
We are slaves.
Did I
We
lose my
work to
stream?
make
Yeah.
the rich get richer.
I lost my stream.
World War I made the rich richer. World War II made the rich richer. The lies in the Gulf of Tonkin and 9/11,
So if I
everything
go
made
like
the rich
that,
get
what
richer.
happens?
Iraq and their oil.
Transition. Oh, that happens. Okay. Aha. Interesting. I'm blowing my scenes. Yes. go with the dude on the piano. Transition that over. Send that onto my screen. See what happens. There we go. Let's put the dude with the piano back on. Intermission. Yeah, this is my intermission now. While I figure some other stuff out. This guy is brilliant. Watch him go. Watch him go. It's awesome. Alright, I'll turn that down. Okay, I think that's better. How you doing, Barbie? I think that's a little better. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I'm very new to this, Barbie, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm doing good, doing good. Just checking out this OBS and sorting it out. Learning what I'm doing, which isn't much. I'll put on a couple of my own videos here in a minute and see how they play. Well, I'm glad. Learning is everything, because still learning about flat Earth. There we go. Let's see. I'm going to run into one of my videos and we'll see how it goes. Just having this guy on here for a bit of an intermission. And we'll run a short one and see how this one plays. Okay, let's see if we run this one up. Yeah, huh. There we go, we'll remove that one. Yeah. Put this one up.
The Earth isn't flat.
Transition that one through now. Yeah, he's something else. It's just some guy who sat down in a shopping center. That down.
This is called gravity.
There we go. think that one's running now. Yeah, I don't play piano at all like he does. See if we can turn that up a touch.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth.
Yeah, the grass hole. So you're not over at Globebusters watching Globebusters right now. You'd rather watch me just mess around?
We're trying to move towards the future. They want to be stuck in the past.
Well, I appreciate the audience. Might start blushing. Oh my god. Might go all shy.
If some of these folks were around when Columbus set sail,
So what happened to you that made you start to look into flat Earth?
they must have been founding members of the Flat Earth Society.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun with video sometimes. Just kind of blast it out of my own little mind. Yeah, I agree. It'd be far too much for me to type
They
too.
would not have believed that the world was round.
Yeah, I've popped into your channel once or twice and found it quite interesting. There's too many things.
Get Zika virus very easily from biting somebody, and the world is flat, right? The World Cup happened.
Here, I think I got my flat Earth journey.
Because the world is flat.
It's not like most people's flat Earth journeys, I'm sure, but in my mind it came out. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put on my flat Earth journey video and we'll see where it took me.
You pondering what I'm pondering?
Yes, I am.
I think.
This is fantastic. You see? You've already saved us an entire evening.
And invariably, in any discussion about the shape of the Earth, the first argument used in support of its rotundity is that as ships sail out to sea, the tops of
Yeah,
their
these
masts
are
visible
things I
longer
watched
than
that took me onto this journey.
Forget that plan.
Like I say, it's
Take a
not
look
your
at this
normal
one,
journey.
colleague.
Oh, Rain.
Not asking questions, and what perturbs me is that you don't get answers.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
So, Rain.
See if I can fix that. I think I tried to do too much at once. Okay. We've had a crash. We've had a crash. Still trying to play through. I wonder if it is. I don't think it is. Can't be. It's got to be frozen. Yeah, she's frozen right out.
Of the ocean and raise the hull of that sorrowful ship.
Why don't you tell them the truth?
Oh, there we go. A little bit of action.
When he wrote, "Don't let anyone deceive you in any way, for that day will not come until the rebellion occurs and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the man doomed to destruction."
Pinky, aren't we rodents stigmatized enough already?
Don't you remember that when I was with you, I used to tell you these things, and now you know what is holding him back, so that he may be revealed at the proper time. For the secret power of lawlessness is already at work, but the one who now holds it back
So
will
I see that
continue
I'm
to
just
do
talking
so
to
until
myself
he is
there,
taken
but,
out of the way.
Scholars and
I guess it's still
academics who
going.
have studied conspiracy theories. These are people who are inclined to believe that the government is out to get them anyway. The media is...
And then the lawless one will be revealed, whom the Lord Jesus will overthrow with the breath of his mouth and destroy by the splendor of his coming. The coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with the work of Satan, displayed in all kinds of counterfeit miracles, signs, and wonders, and in every sort of
Okay.
evil that
Seems to be
deceives
coming through
those
still.
who are perishing.
Of course. Cows are sacred in India, Pinky. They are allowed to go anywhere. Are you pondering what I'm pondering, Pinky?
Well, I think so, Blaine, but... No, it's too stupid.
They are perishing because they refused to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion so that they will lie, and so that all will be condemned who have not believed the truth, but have delighted in wickedness.
Yeah, I think she's freezing up. Fuck her. I think I'm gonna have to change my OBS. I don't think the 64-bit OBS is working right.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Blaine, but I get all clammy inside the tent.
Sigmund Freud would have had a field day with you, Pinky.
Yeah, there's a curvature on that lighthouse. I can see it. Zooming right in on it. And there we go.
You will sneak into the radio station, taking the place of the mist, so I can broadcast my genuine mental powers to millions
Okay,
of
let's see
listeners,
if that's going now.
fogging their minds until me, their leader.
There we go.
Unfortunately, the act of questioning anything about this event now runs you the risk of being dismissed as a conspiracy theorist or a lunatic by the corporate media.
Oh, I think it's back.
We are in a period where conspiracy theory is flourishing.
Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Blaine, but don't you need a swim
Hi,
pool
you
to
sure
play
you
Marco
can?
Polo?
How you doing?
Oh, Pinky, we're trapped. We must
Street
find
Fighter,
another
isn't
way
that
out.
right? See, I remembered.
They could be from the far left, they could be from the far right, they could have unconventional, deranged theories.
Like sports then, did he?
The plan, Pinky. I will get a job at a large corporation, stage a hideous accident,
Yeah, I'm
and sue
just
them for
struggling with
$1,614,000 in
my
workers'
learning
compensation.
process here of getting some live shows going.
Another horror story continues.
Struggling.
The aftermath of that poison gas leak that has killed more than 2,000 people. Today, the Indian state government in Bhopal filed a criminal negligence suit against
people that destroy it. People that destroy it.
It will provide us with the necessary funds for our plan of rule.
It's a commonly held misconception that the Earth is a spherical object that revolves around the sun. But the...
Hi! Me, Cookie Monster! And this big fella here is Rock. Yeah. Hi, Rock.
The fact is, of course, that the Earth is a circular dish surrounded by a barrier of ice that explorers like Andrea Barnes have been attempting to penetrate for centuries.
Two seaplane groups, the eastern to map that half of the continental shoreline, and the western to map the opposite coast of Antarctica.
Live streaming. Finally got a green light. There we go.
We're here to ask intriguing scientific question.
Don't worry, I'll make it quick.
Struggling with it.
Earth spins at the equator at about 1,000 miles per hour around its axis, and this axis has a tilt of exactly 24.5 degrees. That's where we get seasons. And as we spin, we also orbit the sun at 66,000 miles per hour, and the sun is located 93 million miles from Earth. And that sun is just an average star out of the hundreds of billions in our galaxy alone.
Yeah, you always gotta have the Cookie Monster in your videos. I mean, it's learning video.
Pants with horizontal stripes make me look chubby.
No, Pinky. If I put myself on that plaque, the aliens will recognize me as Earth's leader.
Oh, and the orbit of the sun means we travel 584 million miles in 1 year, while the sun also orbits the Milky Way galaxy at about 500,000 miles per hour, meaning it travels 4.4 billion miles in that same year, while the Milky Way galaxy is traveling at 1.34 million miles per hour, meaning it traveled 11.8 billion miles in that same year.
They had very much gone down the kind of rabbit hole with conspiracy thinking, all kinds of ideas, the world is not as it seems, and so on.
Now, after all that, we never feel a thing. Add to that, the North Star Polaris doesn't change its location from our
I
point
need
of
to
view.
find some way to send that
You may call it science.
over the top.
I call it a belief.
Yes. Pinky, this is it. Look.
Elves wanted for Holiday Rush. Apply North Pole.
Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Well, I think so, Brain, but apply North Pole to what?
The elves, Pinky. Santa's workshop is the
Oh,
most
isn't that
productive
interesting?
manufacturing facility in the world.
Apply North Pole to the elves?
Pinky, right now your brainwaves are giving the amazing Kreskin a pounding headache.
Yeah, apply at North Pole. I'm a little bit behind here, but we're looking at week 5, 12 a.m. Sidereal day. I'll speed it up here a little bit, and we rock around to week 52. And it's going to make a swastika, of course. Hey, the famous swastika, the 4 seasons. Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
It's great.
Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Well, I think so, Brain, but it's a miracle that this one grew back.
No, Pinky. We shall use a weapon of great stealth, power, and corruption.
Just
Our
chill
own
out, listen to
sitcom.
the tunes, and watch some Pinky in the Brain, and I'll grab something else. And there we go. We build up our swastikas. Oh, look. Thomas Dolby knew. Blinded me with science. Blinded him with science.
In other words, I call it bullshit. Now,
don't give me the conspiracy bullshit. Come on, you're a more intelligent man than that. Come on. I mean, come on. This there has never been a conspiracy in this country.
Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering? pondering?
Well, I think so, Brain. But pantyhose are so uncomfortable in the summertime.
No, Pinky. The money. We'll get it from the U.S. government.
Ooh.
First, we establish a bogus nation. Then, we dupe the State Department out of a huge foreign aid loan.
Genius, Brain. Oh, wait, no. Won't they know we're not a real country?
The average American's knowledge of geography is pitiful. They'll think we're part of the former Soviet Union or Canada.
Yeah.
In 1962, the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff authored a document called Operation Northwoods, calling for the U.S. government to stage a series of fake attacks, including the shooting down of military or civilian U.S. aircraft, the destruction of a U.S. ship, sniper attacks in Washington, and other atrocities, to blame on the Cubans as an excuse for launching an invasion.
Why are some people so eager to believe in
my
conspiracy?
stream seems to be holding up right now. I'm going to keep it running, because I don't know what I'm doing. But we'll keep it running for a bit.
Conspiracy
President Kennedy refused to sign off on the plan and was killed in Dallas the next year.
Yeah, we know that.
The important thing is to draw a line between people who are fringe groups who believe, for instance, that everything bad that happens in America is part of a massive conspiracy, including September 11th was an inside job, and people who are obsessed about the Kennedy assassination.
Earlier times, it was easier to control 1 million people, literally. It was easier to control 1 million people than physically to kill 1 million people.
If you're obsessed with taking over the world, call Megan on today for a meeting near you.
Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Brain.
No.
But don't camels spit a lot?
I wasn't speaking of stubborn desert ruminants, Pinky, but of myself.
Yeah.
As similar as the two subjects may sometimes seem, I know
Yeah,
now
I'm just
what
going
I
to try to
must
figure out a few more other things.
Today, it is
I still don't know how to do
infinitely
scenes.
kill
Got to
1 million
figure out how to set scenes.
than to control.
Do I do a transition
It's
of the
easier
whole
to kill
scene?
than to control.
In August 1964, the USS Maddox, a U.S. destroyer on patrol in the Gulf of Tonkin, believed it had come under attack from North Vietnamese Navy torpedo boats, engaging in invasive action and returning fire. The incident led to the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, authorizing President Johnson to begin open warfare in Vietnam.
Congratulations are in order to the Masons on fooling the world for 400 years.
Two seaplane groups, the eastern to map that half of the continental shoreline, and the western
There we
to
go,
map the
runs
opposite.
around our flat Earth again. Then we got the Cookie Monster, who steps right in. The Cookie Monster always tell the truth, won't he? You know, if it's a rock, it's a rock. You call it a rock.
Prepared by the good folks. Okay, sign says it is alive if
There has been an explosion of conspiracy theories.
number one,
It grows.
it grows.
Conspiracy theorists are having a field day.
Number two,
It breathes.
It's like Christmas for conspiracy theory.
Number three,
And it eats.
Countless conspiracy theories.
yeah, okay. Let's start with number one. Yeah, it is alive if. What did it get? Oh yeah, yeah. It grows. Yeah. Well, me happen to have photo of when me was little baby Cookie Monster. Oh, me so cute. Yeah. Ha ha ha. But now, me bigger. Ergo, me grew. Yeah. Okay. How about you, Rock? You got photo?
So,
We take
let's
anything,
see.
driver's license, passport, whatever.
If I go rock on here.
Why are there so many of these people?
Conspiracy theories are a great American pastime, and not all of them are on the right. There's plenty on the left as well.
It feels like there's more of this out there than there has been.
Okay, I think I'm getting this. Yeah, it's definitely working now. And we're focusing in on the ship, on that boat, the horizon. We're going to zoom right in, and then the boat's going to disappear. Yeah. We all know that it's, you know, just because of the horizon, you know, it's just gone around the globe there. Yeah. Look at that. Look, it's just disappeared around the globe. That's amazing. That must be a big hump of water there. But I always thought water's that level. What do I know? Why would I question it?
Okay.
Why wouldn't I just believe?
It is alive if it breathes. Yeah.
Why wouldn't we just believe? Is that like believing in God? Believe in a ball Earth? I just believe the scientists. Is it a religion?
Yeah. How about rock? Let's listen.
Yeah, I don't believe them. I don't believe them. I'll believe the Cookie Monster here.
Conspiracy theories are not new.
Conspiracy theories have been woven into the fabric of American society since before the signing of the Constitution.
3 things can't be hidden. Yeah. There we go.
A lot of these conspiracy theories have a presence, or at least a grudging acceptance, within the political mainstream.
No. Rock, no breathing. Yeah. Not looking too good for rock here.
I think it's a rock. And it's not alive.
It's alive if
Cookie Monster says so.
Yeah.
It's out there. It's become part of pop culture now.
I see the pretty mainstream conservative media really flirting with these folks and maybe starting to mainstream some of this craziness, so we maybe won't be able to ignore it.
Humans, for the most part, don't have a clue. They don't want one or need one either. They're happy. They think they have a
And here we go.
good lead on things.
The famous lines of Men in Black, isn't it? You know, let's create an alien invasion and show that the people were all wrong and the Earth is flat because aliens say so. And we're in a dome. Don't think so. Not in a dome.
The Earth was flat, and 15 minutes ago you knew that people were alone on this planet.
Something's not right here.
have always said that the Earth is flat, and this is confirmed by the photographic records of a large number of airmen, and also by the declaration of Professor Picard when he ascended into the stratosphere.
Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Oh, look at that. Professor Picard. Oh. And who's that?
No.
Christopher Lloyd. Oh.
Those critics will seal our fate.
Once again,
I'm afraid the art world has had its
Picard.
fill of donuts.
And
Maybe they
we'll
should
go
eat more
back.
vegetarians. Then wash it all down
Yep,
with
Picard
the nourishing
and
laugh
Christopher
of milk.
Lloyd.
Pinky,
Crazy
there's
scientist.
ink in there.
Yep. There we go. Crazy scientist. Let's make all this up. This is stranger than fiction. Reality is stranger than fiction. Yeah. And of course they throw a flat Earth map into the movie. Oh, there you see it. I see it. There it is, sitting right there. Your flat Earth. Once again, a clock. I don't know if it's Gleason's map, but it doesn't make a difference. That is the way the maps are. Pizza Planet truck again. Because it is Pizza Planet.
Pondering what I'm pondering.
I think so, Brain, but I don't think Kay Ballard's in the Union.
I will alter this equipment and enlarge myself to become a 400-foot tall mouse who'll save the world from Gollyzilla.
But you just said there was no such thing as Gollyzilla, Brain.
There is now, Pinky. Or should I say, Pinkzilla. Yes, I see.
There it goes. Up. There it goes. Up, up, and away. I don't think she's in the Union either. Let's have a nice enjoyable ride up into the sky. Yeah. Come on. We'll remove that. Yeah. Remove that. Yeah. We're lagging a little bit here. Remove that. Sorry for the lag. Remove that. Yeah. And we add this. There we go. Transition it. Turn it down. There we go. Taking a ride. Tries to freeze on me here. Even though it says we got a green light on our feed. Very interesting. Okay. Let's get that down. Play that. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's a lot prettier. Looking into our domed world. Heading up. Oh, the water's above. My God, so exciting. And the famous mic drop. And we got my flat earth dogs. So let's try another one. Let's get rid of that. Remove that. Yeah. Transition
Hello,
that
everybody.
over.
This is the BBC television
Volume
station
down.
at Alexander Palace. You're seeing a film originally
Sorry about the
made
commentary.
for the BBC television service in the spring of 1946.
There we go. Transitioned okay. We'll see how long it takes.
It's not intended as an entertainment for the home viewer.
Interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
It's called Color Vision Program. They tell you visually to program and program.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled program, which has been a
It'd be nice to have
first time during your television.
controls for Okay, I'm gonna figure out this
The house looks just like the one next to it. And the one next to that. And the one next to that.
Let's just loop that through
Hello, everybody.
while I figure out a couple other things.
At Alexander Palace. You're seeing a film originally for the BBC television service in the spring of 1946.
There we go.
It's not intended as an entertainment for the home viewer.
Okay.
It's called color vision program. They tie visually the program being programmed.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled
Yeah.
which has been in progress since we first turned on your television.
I want the young motherfuckers in here tonight, no matter what your nationality is. Motherfucking TV on for 1 week. You know Obama ain't running shit.
So if I tab between scenes, if I hot cop,
And the one next to that. And the one to that.
yeah. Alright, there we go. Let's go with this. Ah, right. That's why.
And something more.
Discovered that there's a bit more to the building around than people during the war, leading into March. They found a material in
Yeah, okay.
logical mind immediately.
Poltergeist. It knows what scares you.
This is a sparring program, similar to the programmed reality of the Matrix.
Yeah, I can do that. Oh, and all our famous symbols. Puppet on a string. More puppets on a string. There we go with more puppets on a string. Puppets on a string. There we go. Yeah. Okay, now I'm getting this down pat. I think I'm going to have to make a video that I'm going to go with a show because I think I can work this out. All right.
And the system actually came into being at the height of the Cold War, where countries set aside their differences, and agreed to govern the Antarctic as a place for
This is
science.
running good.
Governance is now extending into the ocean.
And this lady here is going to tell us how they're going to protect the Antarctic again. You know?
Establish marine reserves and protected areas. And the Ross Sea is the first big one that they've managed to agree to.
This is called gravity.
Moves like gravity.
Confused about your role. You understand what I'm saying?
Might go and
Confused
crash
about race,
a
confused about politics. It says keep
NASA channel in a minute.
disorganized and distracted with matters of no real importance. Whereas the media, MEDIA, which stands for Multi-Ethnic Destruction in America, or Maniac European Devils in Action, keep the adult population's attention diverted from real social issues and captivated by no matters of no real importance. It goes on to say, the schools are kept, keep the young public ignorant
Yeah.
of real mathematics,
There we go.
real
Learning in
economics,
your indoctrination system.
real law, and real
There's the
history.
kids.
Entertainment is kept below the 6th grade level. When you start hearing songs like Laffy Taffy and these kind of songs will hit your lower chakras and vibrate that negative energy, activating your pituitary gland, releasing those hormones. Now you got grown-ass men making songs for 12 and 13-year-olds. I.e. Jay-Z, you understand what I'm saying?
Keep them working.
So the public
Keep
is
'em
kept
working.
busy working.
Keep them
And the
working and
result,
not
no time
thinking.
to think. And that's exactly
That's what we do.
If your ultimate goal is
Sell your soul to the devil.
you're gonna do a lot to get there, like sign your name in blood.
Maybe Oprah was eating children. I don't know.
A new world order. A world where the rule of law.
Big Brother, CBS, July.
The Illuminati will
Mania,
be
European
Mr.
Devils in
Rosto.
Action.
Change your mind again and again and again.
Singing the music Respect, originally sung by Aretha Franklin. Mariah, who also is a monarch, was a very close friend with Whitney Houston, who was goddaughter of Aretha Franklin. Coincidences? I don't think so. Sometimes they appear blatantly and sometimes we have to decode them by using numerology. She died in her 11th day. She was staying in the room number 434 at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles. She was pronounced dead at 3:55 p.m. and this hour holds a very creepy synchronicity.
You're still out here doing these songs, you know, you're still on tour.
I do, but I don't take it for granted.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still doing it?
Well,
Ah, there we go. Another one sold themselves to the man.
bargain with
To
it,
the man.
you know, long time ago, and
Doing it for the man.
holding up my hand
What was your bargain?
to get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And in this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
Try another one. I'm not worried if anybody's watching or not. All I'm doing is tests.
Hello, everybody. This is the BBC television station at Alexander Palace. We are seeing a film originally
Let me
made
run,
for the BBC television service in the spring of 1946.
Where's my logos?
It's not intended as an entertainment.
Hello everyone, this is just me, and I'm learning to do Blender so that I can put together some 3D animations that I can work with. And this is my process, this is my learning process of going through and just creating my own logos right now and learning the animation and the structure of Blender. And Blender is a open source, free to use 3D animation program which is brilliant. Everybody should download it and start learning it because it will help us answer a lot of questions.
The house looks just like the one next to it. And the one next to that. And the one next to that.
Let's remove that. Let's remove that. I'm going to put up Dove's Cove. I'll just turn that off. No, I'll turn that off. Let's try that. Let's see if I remove that. Okay, let's put those logos back on. Let's put do that. Yeah, that's alright.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, then we'll do that. We'll see what happens. Coming back. Oh, lovely scene. Now we gotta loop that through. Go like that. Okay. Yeah. And then we'll go down. We'll rock this out. Oh, I think that worked.
Thank you so much. I believe that women everywhere can be and are agents of change, drivers of progress, makers of peace. All we need is a fighting chance to show what we can do in every part.
And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters."
Earlier this year, The Economist magazine published what they called a glass ceiling index.
God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so.
And inside the ring of mussels was a lake. And it's like,
little
wait a
layer.
minute, I'm already underwater.
No country can truly thrive by denying the contributions of half its people. The great unfinished business of the 21st century is helping women and girls break through these ceilings and...
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Break the ceiling there, girl.
ripple across the entire society.
We went out over the water in this lake and tried to descend in it and bounced off. It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't go down.
That's interesting,
We literally
yeah.
bounced off, and as we bounced off, we sent ripples heading back to the shoreline. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
But he said, "There is nothing endowed with life for a man who is enslaving the elements to the nimblest creature in all this world that does not sway in its turn. Whenever action is born from force, no matter how small it is, the cosmic balance is upset, and the universal motion resorts."
If we, the women of the United States, act decisively, we can make a real difference, not only far from home, but here at home. That's why we are launching No Ceilings. We want to know...
And what they saw scared them a great deal.
Yeah, I have to do a correction in this video, actually.
Concerned about the sky? Because the US and Russia immediately started firing nuclear weapons straight up, and they kept firing for the next 4 years.
What we've achieved and what we have to do. I'm absolutely confident that we can send a clear, unmistakable message.
and two seaplane groups, the eastern to map that half of the continental shoreline, and the western to map the opposite coast of Antarctica.
Onward to the edge. Onward to the edge.
Ceilings in America are unacceptable. Ceilings around the world that prevent education and health care and jobs and opportunity are equally unacceptable. And we're going to be about the business of making sure that those ceilings crack for every girl and every woman here and around the globe. So let's get cracking!
Led by the University of Colorado, Boulder has discovered an invisible Star Trek-style shield that blocks so-called killer electrons 7,200 miles above Earth.
Yeah, I can just run this and leave it. The stream is running really steady and green right now. I don't know why, but I'm not going to complain about it.
But more broadly, we've got to move beyond partisan politics on this issue.
I'm telling you, our whole way of life as we know it is
And I love this show from the 80s.
I have the documented evidence. It's all in there. Show him.
Well, he's got
I forget what the name was.
magazines here.
But it was good.
Conspiracy Review.
I remember the one guy's name was
Suppressed
Dietrich.
Truth Roundup.
The whole master plan is exposed.
Yeah, well,
You're still not convinced, huh? Would you like to hear the names of just a few of the people who have been on the Trilateral Commission?
not particularly.
James Earl Carter. Heard of him?
Look, Mr. Klein.
Henry Kissinger. You heard of him? Walter
Oh
Mondale.
yeah.
Mr. Klein, this is
Elves and everything, yeah, and then we get on to conspiracy, and we get on to the shows that are trying to deceive. Basically, they want to make him nutter.
Hey, Ronnie, forget Jerry, it's George. Bye. So, no matter who won in November, they had their man in the White House.
Are you through?
Since this is my, I think it's my fourth go at this.
Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Libertarians, Greens, anybody to combat this threat on behalf of our kids. I'm open to all sorts of new ideas, maybe better ideas, to make sure that we deal with climate change in a way that promotes jobs and growth. Nobody has a monopoly on what is a very hard problem, but I don't have much patience for anyone who
Yeah, and
denies
then
that this challenge is
Obama,
real.
he's going to go on with his famous pow, 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 bang, bang, bang.
That's what the American people expect. That's what they deserve.
Yeah, I guess I should keep on going here.
Did we do all that we could when we had the chance to deal with this problem and leave them a cleaner, safer, more stable world? And I want to be able to say...
I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens
It's
capable
okay,
of
I
critical
think
thinking.
I'm just
They want
getting used to my own voice going here,
well-educated
and
people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
but I'm
That's
going to
against
try and
their
put together
interests.
something that,
That's right. You know something?
hey, we can all
They
talk
don't want
about.
people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table to figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Yes, we did. Don't you want that? Americans are not a people who look backwards. We're a people who look forward. We're not a people who fear what the future holds. We shape it. We shape it. We shape it.
And took hold. The religions adapted to handle the new reality, and life moved on. More importantly,
Oh, the globe. The beautiful, non-existent globe.
Over the next
Just doesn't
500
exist.
years, the challenges to this model faded, to the point where the globe was accepted as universally as physical laws such as gravity.
Gravity is not a real force at all. Objects just free fall towards the greatest energy, because it has the greatest time dilation, or the slowest rate the time flow.
A globe and some UNICEF artwork. Well, they're in on it too. Okay, Mr. Klein, if you
Read that again if you didn't absorb it. For 20 generations, people believed
Gravity
the Earth
snafu?
was round.
Broaden the circle of those who are willing to stand up for our future. Convince those in power to reduce our carbon pollution. Push your own communities to adopt smarter practices. Invest, divest. Remind folks there's no contradiction between a sound environment and strong economic growth. And remind everyone who represents you at every level of government that sheltering future generations against the ravages of climate change is a prerequisite for your vote. Make yourself heard on this issue.
Yeah, and once again, I don't see any curvature.
I understand the politics will be tough. The challenge we must accept will not reward us with a clear moment of victory. There's no gathering army to defeat. There's no peace treaty to sign.
In 1959, only a year into the atmosphere bombardment, 10 nations, including the United States, made Antarctica off-limits to any colonization. A treaty was put in place and to this day remains intact. Over 50 nations now have signed off on this treaty.
When President Kennedy said we'd go to the moon within the decade, we knew we'd build a spaceship and we'd meet the goal.
I want to talk about our common responsibilities in the face of a common danger. The events of recent weeks may have helped to illuminate that challenge for some, but the dimensions of its threat have loomed large on the horizon for many years. Whatever our hopes may be for the future, for reducing this threat or living with it, there is no escaping either the gravity or the totality of its challenge to our survival and to our security. A challenge that confronts us in unaccustomed ways in every sphere of human activity.
That image in the photograph, that bright blue ball, that bright blue ball, that bright blue ball, that bright blue ball.
Because there was a globe in every classroom they sat in. There was no proof. Hundreds of years went by, and still civilization had no way of proving the theory. Planes were invented around 1900, but until 1957, nothing could go high enough to give a true perspective of where we lived. And that's when everything got strange. The United States and Russia both sent up rockets high enough to take decent pictures.
That's supposed to be 80,000 feet. That's my video I have to fix. That was at 80,000 feet.
We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and
Tesla was more than just a great electrical engineer, and at the age of 81, he stated that he had completed a dynamic theory of gravity. Sadly, this theory was never published.
unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it.
A few things to keep in mind here. First, this was now 1958. Nuclear weapons were very expensive and hard to come by. These also weren't those nominal yield 20 kiloton toys we used on Hiroshima. This was high kiloton to low megaton, and we couldn't get them up fast enough. And the strangeness continued in other places.
Play in the universe. It says that consciousness or mind or the activity going on inside of us is playing a role. It says there's
Well,
a secret
we
underground
listened to this guy, and
that seems to be affecting the reality we live
it is,
in. And this reality we live
magnetic,
in is not at all what it appears to be.
EMR,
What is the quantum physics?
electromagnetic radiation.
Entanglement? What is exactly the quantum that makes that connection?
The major basic idea that quantum physics implies, which makes us understand that or even think about this new paradigm, the thing which is that there's this underground. There's got to be a realm of existence which cannot be ever, touched on or seen, which bubbles into the existence, giving rise to our understanding of the world. In other words, we ourselves, the nature of our I-ness, our beingness, comes from this kind of realm. And quantum physics seems to be pointing us in that direction. The physics before that said there's an objective reality out there, Matilda, and don't mess with it, because if you do, something bad's going to happen to you. But the new realm says, not only can you mess with it, you've been born to mess with it. That's what this is all about. We're here to involve and get involved with it and to interact with it, and we can be creative with it.
How does quantum physics say that if we were to get involved in it?
Well, it implies that without us, the world will be a very weary,
Okay,
gooey
it's all
place.
running pretty smoothly now.
Because what science has been telling us now is that the world is fundamentally probability.
Hello, anybody out there who might be listening?
Gooey stuff,
As
which
I can
doesn't
see,
have
there's
any
probably nobody.
spiky, thorny
But welcome.
objects, reality, no stones, not even
While I
unturned, no stones,
sort
period.
this stuff out.
Nothing comes into being
Once
unless
again,
there's
I'm
an
just
observer
playing.
somehow involved in the equation.
I guess I shouldn't be
And
yawning,
quantum physics points to that.
but I
It
am
says,
getting
when you
tired of...
observe, things happen. When you don't,
This is exactly
trying
the
to learn
process
this,
that is explained in a new
'cause,
theory called quantum atom theory. In this theory, Newton's apple does not fall to the ground because of the downward force of gravity, but because of the upward momentum of
Yeah, let's mess
electromagnetic
with it.
radiation or light. Gravity is not a real force at all. It is a secondary force to the electromagnetic force. Objects just freefall towards the greatest energy because it has the slowest rate of time,
Yeah.
or the greatest time
Things
dilation.
don't just free fall, do they? They fall to their greatest density.
There is only one untouched reservoir of raw materials left in the world, and that's in the region known as Antarctica, an area larger than the combined area of the United States and Europe. The American government is sending a naval expedition to that region. The purpose is to train our Navy in polar operations so that it may better perform its function of preserving the peace upon the 7 seas of the world. Beyond that, the American government is seeking to do its share.
It's high noon.
Let's transition that through there. Transition that through there. See what time it takes to show up.
Well, now time zones. It doesn't matter where you go or how you wiggle or squirm or run our mazes, baby, all alone. What doesn't get you has a mother's way of letting you learn. Well, last time, 3, 2, I think you finally pushing it through. Said it's a payoff.
Well, checking out the decibels here. Bam! Blew my ears wide open. Here we go. Now, let's see. See if we can improve a little bit here. Yeah. Oh, wasn't that interesting? Solar Noon. Just checking out the delay between when I present and when it gets the chat. That's always gets a little interesting. Stephen King, Under the Dome. Yeah, we remember that one, don't we? Funny that didn't go far. I think they gave away a little too much on that one. Okay. Now, let's see what this presents. So we got the Suez Canal, which is, what, 101 miles long, and it only had a few feet between ocean and ocean. Amazing. Amazing. It was pretty much dead level. Just the same. There's Port Said Bridge. Coming up here. Oh, there we go. We're looking over at London Eye. And this is our cable coming across. Yeah. There's our non-spinning globe. Non-spinning globe. Yes, and there's a theater, the theater shooting. Now the Nile River has, what, 1,000 miles of river, with some places having a mere 1 foot drop. So, go figure that. Yeah, see how that works on your globe. Doesn't. You can't have 1,000 miles of river and only have 1 foot of drop on a globe. It'd be like a rushing waterfall. Yeah. See, you guys believe this. You guys believe you're on a globe, so you may as well just believe in God. Because that's what you're being asked to do. You're being asked to just have a belief. We'll see how this rocks off now. We'll run in one more video. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I know where we gotta go. We gotta go. Documents. Go in here, run into there, DWP. Let's have a look at some of these and see what we can do. Let's see how fast we're going at, yeah, this is what I like. So like, okay, here we go. You're spinning through space. This is it. Snaps to the sides. This is how fast we're going. Here it comes. Oh my god! So, after we clear, we just going that fast. Do you believe it? I don't. So we'll remove that one. Okay. I've got something else here. Proof the Earth is flat. See what they say here. Transition that through. Let's have a look at this one. See if I remember it. Is that working all right? Yeah. Oh, I think we're losing a little bit of stream. But we'll see what happens. We'll keep it going here, and hopefully it'll change up in a minute. But I don't think it's going to. Once we get this thing passed. Yeah. Hey,
your lovely eyes fixed in me. The path is made of golden silence, but I can feel the trickle of the rain in my hair when you walk me home. Take me to the edge of the world, you will still call me yours. Take me to the end of forever, you will just let me more. I know it when you walk me home.
Wait for that sound to kick in there. There we go, the sound has dropped down now, I think. And I think that's a good time to end this little live video. Looking at Easter Island there. Looking at the star charts, maps, the way the world is. Look at that flat dome. Yeah. All that was great in the past was ridiculed, condemned, combated, suppressed, only to emerge. Yeah. Good night, Aurora Borealis. Good night, everyone, and take care. I'll speak to you all soon. I know this was a pretty boring test, but it was a test, none the least. And once I get enough stuff put together, I'll start putting together an entire program. And hopefully I can make it interesting. You know, it just takes time to work out the glitches. I think I've got the glitches worked out. That was a steady stream. Steady stream.